Welcome to Bloq Marketing Creative Solutions Email Marketing Insights. One of the most important things about email marketing is having a complete process. And at Bloq Marketing, we like to make sure that we do have that complete process, from planning the email to designing the email, setting it up on the email client system, and then blast it. Once it's blast, we expect a few scenarios or results to come back to us. But in order for us to accomplish that, again, we need to plan it from the beginning. And so what we like to do is create a diagram. Within that diagram, we have a simple scenario so that customer service can know what to do when a lead comes in via email marketing. So without further ado, let me present you the email marketing diagram. So the way we like to start off a diagram is by having, this looks like a upside down tree or maybe roots. So we have the recipient's database. That's the way it starts. And then we have the email piece. This can be, a newsletter, a product, email piece, or just information. And once we send that email piece, we expect at least a few scenarios to take place. But depending on the way you design your email marketing piece, you'll get two scenarios, and then you'll get the technical scenario, which is the unsubscribe, the open, and the bounce. And then you have obviously your call to actions. In this case, we have two call to actions. We have click book now, which is a button on the email piece, and then we also have another button that says learn more. The scenario for click now is the first call to action that we have set up. And what do we want that action to do? Whenever our recipient clicks that button, we expect the system to redirect that recipient into either a landing page, in this case a calendar, so they can choose their date and their time in order for, in this case we're working with HVAC contractors, for a technician to go and do either an evaluation or service presentation for an installation. Once that happens in the CRM, we expect the system to notify CSR that someone booked online, and then the system places that book online recipient into the first stage of a pipeline. And then from there, we move to the next. And also we have the unsubscribe. What is it that we want the system to do if someone no longer wants to receive emails? We want the system to add a tag and then activate the do not disturb feature. And then we have the opens. What do we want when someone just opens the email but doesn't take action? We want the system to capture that lead and places them in another pipeline, which is the warm leads pipeline, and at that point the system tags it warm. You can also add other tags if you're working with different campaigns, so that you can have things very organized. But keep in mind, if you do that, you're gonna have to create multiple workflows so for each campaign. And then we also have the bounce, and again the system adds a bounce tag, and this will tell us whether the email was incorrect or it no longer exists. That way we can eliminate that contact and no longer have it in our system. Now, when an email is sent, and this is how our email piece looks. So this is our primary email campaign that we sent out, and again we're working for an HVAC contractor. So this is your headline, commercial service, and your short description: keep your commercial building running smooth all year long. And then right away we have our call to action, book service. We want the recipient to take action immediately. Then from there we have information about air conditioning, heating, images here and there, some bullet points, and then other services that if in case the recipient is interested, we also offer that. And then you have the benefits and your final call to action. Now this is a little bit different than this, because again this is for installation, and at that point someone else takes care of that, and we have the footer, and then we have our final elements where the recipient can unsubscribe if they need to, and also the information of the company. Now, if someone clicks book service, this is going to send the client into a calendar, and they're going to select their dates and their time, and then the system is going to capture that information and places them on the unassigned stage. Now, for that CSR, this is what they need to do. Now, I only selected the Book Now scenario because, again, this one will work for the following sources. We have the calendar bookings, inquiry form. This could be from a landing page or directly from the website. And then we have the Facebook ad form inquiry. And so this is what the CSR needs to do on a daily basis. CSR reviews stage and does the following based on submissions. If it's a calendar booking, the CSR needs to call the recipient and confirm the appointment. Now remember, the recipient clicked Book Now, they selected their dates and their time, but CSR needs to confirm and make sure that they truly are interested in the service, because we don't want a company send out their technicians and then find out as they arrive that it was a mistake or they forgot about it, and so time is wasted, money is wasted, and chaos begins to be created. So it's important for CSR, customer service, to call and make sure that they're actually really interested in the service. At that point, if let's say these are the scenarios, was connection successful? If yes, move card to book stage right here. If no, move to flywheel. If it's an inquiry form, email or call is if phone number was provided to book or answer any questions. So if this inquiry comes from a landing page and you have on your fields the phone number and the email, it's preferable the CSR calls them first and then maybe send an email, and to make sure that this method is for recipients or future prospects that have questions or they have some concerns. Now for the Facebook ad form inquiry, the same thing as the email the landing page inquiry form. It's to answer questions or to book and help book the opportunity. And so once they do that, they move it here. And again, this is based on the pipelines that were created in the system: unassigned, flywheel, booked, and lost. These are the first four more important stages to make sure that you close a deal. So if, let's say, I start my day and check out the system, I'm on the unassigned and I check this person here. I call them and I make sure that they were interested in the service. If so, I move them into book, and at that point the card is going to disappear and it's going to go to the next pipeline. But if I was unsuccessful on contacting a person who booked themselves online, and again, I just want to make sure that they're interested, and that day I call, let's say in the morning, and then I was not successful, I tried again, an hour or two later, and then I tried in the afternoon, and then, I tried before my day is over. But if no connection occurred, then at that point, you move the card into the flywheel. Now the flywheel, I need to emphasize that it is only used for reminders and follow-ups, nothing else. You can't expect an email to, a recipient to fall in here and, have the system to do the work for you, because that's not the way it works. We want to be able to have accountability for the employee. So this is what the flywheel does. The flywheel is only used if no connection was made. The system is designed to send a series of pieces to the recipient to be reminded of the email they opened or clicked. And remember, the book lead was interested and confirmed service. And we all know that when a lead is lost, well, they're lost. If all attempts were made to connect and there was no success, then the lead card must be placed in this stage. Now, it's not completely lost because, again, maybe you have another service that you want to let that recipient know that we have available, so you can put them in that campaign and so on until they completely say enough or they unsubscribe. Now let me show you how this flywheel works. That way it'll make sense why on certain on certain scenarios it's ideal to place them here. But if you connect with the lead right away and they confirm, just go directly to book now. But if not, this is the now before I move into that, I just want to say that we do prepare the workflows for each scenario based on what we had what I have here. These are the scenarios that I have. Click book now, click learn more, unsubscribe, open, and bounce. And we also have a SMS. So here they are. Commercial, this is the flywheel. Email bounce, open, unsubscribe, and submit form. And also the SMS stop, because we want the system to do something if someone doesn't want to receive text. Now this is the flywheel, and we call this the 5-day flywheel because this is what this client prefers to push 5 days. Again, you can choose to do 2 days, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, but preferably around those days. You don't want to go beyond that because then your leads are going to go cold and you have to start all over again, re-nurturing them. So whenever we put a contact into this flywheel, this is what happens. The system reblasts once again this email, the original email, so that the client's email can somehow realize it's the same company that's sending this, and it's sort of like a branding technique, because once they see it, like, oh, wait a minute, I know who they are. And the system waits 24 hours, and then from there it asks, was there any interest from the contact? If yes, then it notifies customer service to grab that card and move it into the book stage. If not, then the system is going to continue sending that educational piece. So we have here email education, the flywheel day 2, and this is how it looks. How efficient was your air conditioning this summer? So again, it's just education, it's just content. We're not selling anything here, but we do want to have a call to action at the end of each article or at the end of the email, because why not, right? We want to close those deals as soon as possible. And so you have the same thing as the original. And then from there, it waits, it sends the other email, which is this. And notice that we're keeping consistent with our header. This is how the original looks with the company's name, the second one, and the third one, and the fourth one. All these 3 are just informational pieces, but with the call to action, at the end of each article. This one actually is very short, but that's good. And so it continues, and each time an email is sent, it waits and it asks the question. Now, this doesn't mean that the system is going to know what's happening, because it will only know that something occurred when customer service manually moves a card, or a recipient opens an email, clicks. If they click and they go to book now, then obviously the customer service will move that card and put it in stage, and at that point they're removed from the workflow. And then we also have a SMS short educational piece. This what is it, piece, or rather this medium, this type of what is it, SMS, it works phenomenal because everyone is on their phones, and if you get an email piece and you're like, what is this? But then you see your emails, you're realizing that it's the same company, so something's happening, and they're gonna take action. They're gonna call, or they're gonna opt out. Preferably, we want them to call, right? And so it continues, it waits, and then asks the question again, and so on and so forth, and it keeps going, a waterfall of scenarios until it finally makes it to the final day, which is day 5, and if nothing happened, then it's removed, and therefore at that point the card has to be moved on lost. It makes no sense in having them here because then it's just, you know, taking up space. So this is the system that we have for every email piece, and we believe that it helps anyone not only stay on top of the leads, but also it keeps everyone on track. It keeps everyone accountable, and it works well for managers, so they'll know that you know, their employees are doing their work. If the cards are not being moved, something's happening. You know, and if something is now, if something technical is happening, then we have to see what's going on with the system, or if the employee is not doing what they're supposed to be doing, then we got a problem. So hopefully this helps anyone who is interested in email marketing. Remember, we do it as a package. It's not just create the email, set it up, and blast it, and then see your regular reports. We want to make sure that things are occurring, everyone is involved, so that we can close deals much more quicker and help you close deals much more quicker. So that's it, and I hope this was very insightful.